Broadcasting live from our studio in Boston with presentations from prominent industry vendors, Solutions Review presents Data Protection Demo Day, an online event for backup, disaster recovery, and data protection.
I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review, and welcome to another Demo Day. For this edition, we're focused on data security with demonstrations from two of the hottest data platform solutions. With so much innovation happening right now, with both cloud storage and cloud data security, we're quite pleased to bring you two companies that you should absolutely have on your radar as you continue to develop your enterprise data strategy. Next up is Nasuni, a hybrid cloud storage solution that goes beyond what traditional infrastructure or other cloud providers can do. The Nasuni platform is designed for cloud data protection and mitigation, allowing you to scale your storage as needed, reduce your risk, and lower operating expenses. And joining us to walk you through the Nasuni demonstration is Solutions Architect Christoph Ertl. Christoph, thanks for being with us.
Hi, Doug. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad you're here. We've been looking forward to this particular day of demos. And in particular, Nasuni, I know you guys have a global footprint. You're in Germany. I think the headquarters is in Boston, plus you have offices elsewhere. Tell me a little bit about why you joined up. I know you've had a very long and illustrious career in tech. What was it about Nasuni that got you excited?
Yeah, I spent almost all of my professional career in IT, especially in storage. I spent 15 years at NetApp, and had my life filled with file services all the time at NetApp. And I just wanted to see other things. I wanted to join a smaller company. I wanted to see what startups can do in the sector of file services. And Nasuni is definitely very, very interesting when it comes to solving file service use cases. I always tend to call Nasuni the Swiss Army knife of file service problems. We have at least one valuable solution in our pocket when it comes to solving file service workflows.
Well, excellent. Well, I'm going to let you show everybody the Swiss Army knife now. I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to let you run with the demo, and afterwards, I'll come back have a couple of questions for you, I'm sure. But in the interim, the floor is yours.
Thank you. In the interest of time, I just left out all marketing slides and stuff. And as I mentioned, Nasuni is a Swiss Army knife when it comes to file services. I only gonna dig into the Nasuni Ransomware Protection features today. We're not gonna have a look at all the features that Nasuni has. We're gonna focus on the Ransomware Protection features, and we're gonna have a look from two different angles. One, how Nasuni protects your data in the base version of the Nasuni package. And we also have a special ransomware protection package that gives you more features and more protection and more ease of getting out of a situation. We're going to start with the normal Nasuni ransomware protection features. And you can already see a desktop here. We're going to play with the ransomware no extra protection file share here. And I collected some CV files in here. And in a minute, we're going to have a script run at that data, have it encrypt all the data, and then see how we get out of that situation. In order to describe the Nasuni environment a little bit closer, Nasuni is a file service that keeps all the hot data in a file server on premises and offloads all the cold data into an object store in the public cloud normally. All the old data and all the snapshots that we consider as a backup are kept in that object store. And we have a huge ability to go back in time with those snapshots. So we can take very many of those snapshots. We do not have to delete any. We do not have any limits on how many of those snapshots we can keep. Hence, we can look back in time very far if we want to, and restore files directly from old versions. And that's exactly how we protect in the base version your data from ransomware attacks. If we look at the ransomware no protection volume here, we can see that we can check what the current status of the folder is. We can see how the data looks. We can see all the fine CVs here in the UI. And when I start the encryption script, then it asks me a lot of questions. That's a script that is available from Nasuni. You can run it on your own environment if you want to. And it asks for a Nasuni filer. I want to encrypt stuff. I want to use a random extension. And it lets me pick a folder that I want to encrypt. And I want to encrypt this folder. And I let it start. It warns me a last time until it starts. And we just let it go away and do the encryption. We can even follow the process here. We can see we have changed files in here, and it has finished with the first folder. And we just stop it. So we have some files encrypted in the second folder as well, but some are untouched. So what can I do now? I figured out that there is a ransomware attack going on. Something got encrypted. What I would recommend is to go in and rename those folders into encrypted to get them out of the way. You might want to keep them for forensic analysis or whatever else. Especially the second folder might still contain some data that was edited by users while other files got encrypted. So you might want to keep those around. But still, we now want to go ahead and restore the data from an old version. So we go into the Nasuni Management Console. We go into the file system browser. We select the file server that we're interested in. And we just go back in time and find a version that contains the good versions of the files. So we check in here. Yes, that all looks good. I can work with that. And I can check the second folder. All the good versions of the CVs. So I'm happy with that. I just go in here, mark those two folders, go to restore folders. I want them to appear exactly where they came from. So I want to restore them to the original folder. There's nothing to back up because the folder got renamed. So we can just hit restore folder here and let Nasuni do its way. The restore has started. It's scanning files. It's collecting some information. And in a couple of seconds, it's going to tell me, restore is finished. We can go back over here, go in here, and we can see the two folders appeared, all with good data. And all that happened in a matter of seconds, basically. So once you realize that you got a ransomware hit you, you need to figure out where the files are, get the original files out of the way, restore the files, and all you need to do. So you can delete that because everything in that folder is encrypted. And even for that folder, you can go ahead and delete everything that's encrypted. And maybe get in touch with your users and see if anything else of the unencrypted files is useful in here, or whether it can just be overwritten with what got restored from the snapshot. So that's what's included in the base Nasuni package. You need to manually detect the ransomware attack, and you need to manually get out of a ransomware attack. But there's a much more elaborate way to do the ransomware detection and mitigation, and that's contained in the Nasuni Ransomware Protection package. And in the NMC, you can find it under cyber resilience. we can see that it has been enabled already for the demo volume, which is going to be the second volume that we're going to play with. Let me show you real quick how easy it is to set up. So there's only two switches. One that says detect ransomware attacks, and we're going to see what happens when a ransomware attack is detected. And we can also automatically mitigate an attack, which leads to blocking a client's IP address from a file server, and we're going to see that in a second. So we go ahead and save. We switch back over to our rogue client. We go into the ransomware no protection. Sorry, not no protection, into the demo volume. And we have a ransomware in here. And I prepared a couple of volumes with those CVs. So we have a little bit more to encrypt. All I need to do is go over to my script again, start it. It's again the same file server that I want to attack. Again, it's validating whether it's a Nasuni appliance. We want to encrypt files. We want to use a random pattern. So Nasuni ransomware detection can detect both random patterns and also known extensions. For known extensions, a ransomware attack is detected a little bit quicker because all we need to do is a pattern match against newly created files. And see if any of the file name and extension patterns match what we already know is a bad file name piece or bad file name extension. For the random, we need to analyze a little bit more thoroughly what's going on the file server. And when we detect malicious activity like deleting files or renaming files in a large scale, then we look at that more closely. And when we really are sure that it's a ransomware attack, then we alarm and do all the other necessary steps. So we're going to make it hard for our appliance today, do a random extension. Then we select where the ransomware is going to hit. So we decided we're going to do that in the ransomware folder and have it encrypt all the folders underneath. We tell it, yes, you can start, and we can watch the system work. So we can go in here and again watch what's going on. It again picked a random extension and it's hitting away on the files, doing the encryption. It almost finished one folder, and it's probably going to finish the second folder as well. And sometime in the third folder, it's going to realize that this is not good. Somebody's encrypting, deleting, renaming lots of files on the appliance. And what's going to happen then is, the script's going to be blocked because the user is now not allowed to access the file server anymore. What we're also going to see is that this Windows Explorer is going to bail out. It's not going to be happy with the fact that it cannot access the file server anymore. And what we can see over here is the Nasuni Management Console alerted already that just now somebody, the rogue user from host with IP ending on 31 did something bad. And Nasuni Ransomware Protection noticed it. So what we get here in the Nasuni Management Console under Cyber Resilience in the incident management, one thing I should mention. So for everybody else, work just continues as normal. So I can go onto the Frankfurt file server. I can go into the demo volume. I can go into ransomware, and I can see everything. So only the host that did the bad stuff gets blocked from the file server. Everybody else can continue work as normal. So under incidents, we get a new entry, and you can see I tested it before today several times. So I'm confident it works in the right way. So we get a report created for us, telling us a little bit about what's going on or what was going on during the ransomware attack. For now, all we know is that we have a good snapshot from 10:44 this morning. We're working with a demo environment that's why only very little data changes on that environment, and Nasuni only takes snapshots after data has changed. And the last time I changed anything was at 10:44, so that's good. Excuse me. The first ransomware violation was detected at 2:37, 49 seconds. A couple seconds later, an incident got created. And again, some seconds later, the client was blocked. We have all that information in a table version as well. We see that a client was blocked. If more clients do malicious things, you're going to find more than one client in that list. And we get a list. It's not a complete list, but it's just for you to see where the ransomware attack happened, which file server, which folder, which share, and which files are impacted. So you already get a little bit of a picture of what has been going on. If we check back with our file, with our rogue client, that rogue client cannot do anything with that Frankfurt file server right now. So we can unblock it. So this is a display topic. So at Nasuni, the NMC and the file servers are not connected directly, but they communicate through a communication proxy. And some messages take some time until they appear in the NMC. The important fact is that the client got blocked. The information that it is blocked hasn't made it through to the NMC. It's just a matter of seconds until that's going to be visible here. Let's unblock the user after we restored the files from the attack. So again, let's have a look at the damage from this client here. So we can see that the first folder was encrypted entirely. We can see the second folder also got encrypted entirely, and the same on the third folder. We can see that it stopped halfway down. What we can do here is remember the first one was the report, and the second one is a targeted restore button. So that button helps you to restore, and all you have to do is choose whether you want to delete the ransomware files and whether you want to back up existing files that are going to be restored. So if somebody changed the file in the meantime on that share, you might wanna back up those files instead of overwriting them with a version from the backup. So I want to delete the ransomware files and restore everything else. I need to tell it to actually do the restore by typing in perform restore here, and I let it do its thing. Again, we can monitor the progress here. We have 0% complete right now, and now the restore is complete. And if we check in the temp CV here, so we can already see that the temp CV folder 3 was cleaned. We can see that this one got cleaned, and we can also see that the temp CV1 folder got cleaned. So from incident detection until all files restored from the latest snapshot, again, it's just a matter of seconds, but it's now we do not have to do any tidy up activities after this mitigation, after the targeted restore was done, compared to what we had to do earlier. And now we should see the blocked client in here, and we can unblock it. Again, let's go back here. So the Explorer is still unhappy. And if we go in here, we can just hit the unblock the client. And again, it's going to take some time until the NMC transfers the information over to the file server. So we need to be a little bit patient here until the client gets access to the file server again. But here you can see we already got our access back, and we can go in here and we can have a look at all the files and be happy and continue working. So that was the Nasuni Ransomware Protection demo, the first part with recovering from a ransomware attack without the Nasuni extended ransomware protection features, and the second part with the protection features. Already in the base versions, our customers are very well protected against ransomware attacks, but it's much easier and much more comfortable. And when fingers are shaking during a ransomware attack, you might probably want to be in a situation where you can leverage the targeted restore instead of trying to sort out things on your own. Yeah, thanks for your attention. Are there any questions that might be asked?
Well, I have a couple of questions, but I'm curious, in your experience working with a variety of clients, where do you see them typically not getting ransomware right, or ransomware protection, I should say?
So we had a couple of clients in the last calendar year that came to Nasuni after they got attacked by ransomware. So in order to be protected from their own, I tend to say nobody's really protected against ransomware, and the question is not when you get attacked by ransomware, not whether you get attacked by ransomware, but just when, and how well are you prepared to recover very quickly from the situation. So everybody has their backup. Everybody has a disaster recovery location somewhere. Everybody has their processes, and so. But the real thing is time. So how long does it take me and to recover from the ransomware situation? And I think that traditional backup that is very often in place for file services at the moment is not really fit for the purpose. In order to restore terabytes of files from a traditional backup, it takes you time, it takes days, weeks, and you're running into a situation where your company might be bankrupt before you can actually restore all the necessary data.
Yeah, we're seeing obviously a massive increase in ransomware attacks, and I think with the advent of AI, it's only going to get more sophisticated and nefarious, and as such, there are a lot of solutions out there, including Nasuni. Where do you see Nasuni making their differentiation when you're talking to someone about some of the other solutions that they're considering?
Ransomware protection is not a one trick pony, one solution game. You need to protect everything. You need to protect your clients. You need to educate your users. You need to make sure your network is secure. And Nasuni focuses on making sure that you can recover from a ransomware attack quickly with Nasuni snapshots involved and with the targeted restore methodology that saves you against mistakes during recovering from ransomware attacks, when everybody's in a special mindset during such attacks. Everybody's very anxious, and you do not want to make a mistake. And Nasuni helps you take risk out of the mitigation steps.
So I'm curious, because I know we have, in our audience anyway, a variety of different types of organizations, vertical, different types of verticals, different types of industries, different sizes of company, different levels of complexity. Everybody typically has something in place. At least they think they have something that will be successful. And I'm curious, I know Nasuni's growing rapidly. Where are you finding traction? Are you working with, only large companies, only verticals? Where are you seeing the growth for the Nasuni solution?
In general, we're working with everybody that has file services. What we can see is that by Microsoft 365 transitions, most of the file service data got migrated to OneDrive and SharePoint and Teams and such. But for certain verticals, like manufacturing, like media and entertainment, like automotive, life sciences, pharmaceuticals, and so forth, they still have file service data in place that cannot go into SharePoint because you have applications that cannot work with SharePoint. And very often organizations do not want to put all their eggs in one SharePoint basket just because of pricing or because they lose control over their data, lose control over who's sharing what with whom. So we work with all the verticals. We see the most file services remaining in place, and also file services being critical, a critical path of making money for the companies in the manufacturing, in the AEC environment.
I have a question about where you store the data, and it's my understanding you store it in there's a public cloud store that you're putting the data in. What if someone kind of cracks the code there and breaks into the customer account and gets access to that data?
That is a very common question. So first of all, the object store that we store our data in is not managed by Nasuni. It is managed by our customer. So the customer brings their object store to the table, and they are responsible for making that secure. We have best practices, obviously, on how to protect the various object stores that are out there in the Nasuni way. But eventually, the customer are responsible for making the object store secure. And if somebody breaks into the environment, customers still are not going to lose any data because Nasuni encrypts every piece of data with a customer-provided encryption key. So we have end-to-end encryption from the file server into the object store. So even if somebody gets access to your object store, then all they're going to find is encrypted data rubbish that they cannot use for anything malicious.
Interesting. The another question that our folks had on the editorial side was with regard to the object store. What if you lose the object store completely?
Again, you're responsible for not losing your object store. And just if you think about your on-premise environment, you do not let everybody into your data center. So the same is true for your cloud environment. You want to protect your environment with the rules and the policies that all the cloud environments make available to you. And even if you do not trust your own processes and policies, then you can replicate Nasuni object stores from one public cloud provider to another within a single cloud provider, between regions and so forth. So you can do with your object store what you want. Nasuni is always going to be able to restore the data in case you lose a replica of that data. And another thing is you can still export all data from a Nasuni file system. So there might be reasons for that. We give you tools to easily and efficiently back up your data from out of the Nasuni environment if there's any legal requirement to do so.
Yeah, Christoph, this has been great. We would encourage everybody to go to nasuni.com and check out all the various elements in the Swiss Army knife that they have available in addition to ransomware protection. You can also book a demo, which again, we encourage everybody to always reach out and engage. It's the best way to get your specific questions answered by really sharp people that know their way around all the various threats that exist. This has been great. We appreciate the time. Great demonstration. Christoph, best of luck going forward for the year.
Again, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Well, there you have it. Data Protection Demo Day. We want to thank Christoph and Nasuni for that presentation, and we appreciate your attendance as well. Till next time, I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review. Thanks for watching.